Welcome into the DNVR Avalanche Postgame Show presented by Bet365. I imagine that'll be the most dominant game of the season, at least on the scoreboard that we see from the Avalanche. Bailey and Rudo coming to you live after the Avs beat the Edmonton Oilers 9-1.
That one feels good.
Feels really good to watch it go that way.
That is the most fun I've had watching a hockey game in a long time.
9 goals, 5 goal scorers, no hat tricks. Impressive work. 4 different players scored 2 for the Avalanche.
Yeah.
I mean, what's not to love? I know if you're really trying to be a stickler, you're going to sit in there and be like, oh, the Avs power play was bad. Oh, well, it was just because the Edmonton Oilers stuck. And some of that is true. But also give the Avs credit for dropping 9 on a team.
Yeah, and this is a team we talked about in the pregame show about having a lot of top-end skill, and only one of those guys managed to get on the scoreboard.
Marty Day just didn't even have a point.
No. And so, yes, you can say all you want about the Oilers being where they are in the standings. And, maybe there's good reason for that after seeing apparently what they did tonight. But there's also something to be said about the Avs being a dominant team. And, the Oilers having their fair share of skill. And Avs shut all of that down. Yeah. Almost all of it.
At 5-on-5, this was not ever all that competitive.
This wasn't even a game.
Yeah.
In most cases.
Honestly. And I know some statistics will look pretty close on the stat sheet, and I'll get into some of them a little bit later. But at 5-on-5, I don't know that the Avs can play a whole lot better. You can't blame them for Edmonton's goalies being bad.
And I want to give a special part of the Avs credit here to the fourth line.
Oh, yeah.
Like we talk all the time about the fourth line just being like a don't mess up kind of line. Yep. And they did that and then some. If
you took away all of the scoring in this game from the Avs but the fourth line, the Avs still outscored them 3-1.
Yeah. Which is an insane sentence to say
right
at this point. Like, oh my God.
Let's hit the 60-second rundown before we get any further into this one. First period, tons of penalties, but neither team is really able to convert on them. The Avs pick up 2 goals at 5-on-5, both from Makar. We're both a little soft, maybe, but still pretty good. You're up 2-0. Should have been 3-0, but Gabe Landeskog is not allowed to score an onside goal. That's annoying. Second period, the Avs just put this game away. They scored like 30 seconds in to make it 3-0 and never look back, picking up 3 more goals. Yeah, was it 6-1 by the end of the second? I can't even remember. There were so many goals. So the Avs make it 6-0 at one point. Edmonton gets a power play goal from McDavid because it's Connor McDavid. What are you going to do? You're going to give him one eventually. And then the Avs just continue burying them in the third with 3 more goals for a 9-1 finish, including 2 goals from MacKinnon, Makar, Kelly, and Drury. That's 8 goals right there. The other goal came from Gavin Brindley on that fourth line, as we were just talking about. Not bad. For a 10-goal game in 58 seconds, that's not bad for me. I don't mind that.
No, not at all. Was this the when I said a high-scoring matchup?
Not what I foresaw. It was high-scoring for the Avs, for sure.
Yeah, that's... When I thought high-scoring, I expected it to be a little more even. This was, pleasant surprise all around. Overall, great effort.
Yeah. And again, does what the Avs did tonight get you 9 goals against most teams' goaltending? Probably not. But also the Avs have been stonewalled by some goalies' best nights this year.
Yeah.
The Avs earned it too. Mm-hmm. I really do think the Avs outplayed Edmonton in every facet. And you can't even say that they lost the special teams battle because Parker Kelly got a shorthanded goal.
Makes up for giving one up on the penalty kill.
Exactly.
Like that's good things.
Let's go through this. We'll start with some team stuff here. The Avs aren't going to shoot this high of a percentage, maybe ever again this season.
Mm-mm.
But when you look at them finally breaking through on that offensive side, and I don't necessarily just mean tonight, you've seen them start to put the puck in a little bit more consistently over this last stretch. Call it this stretch of 10. This was game 15. So game 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Is this a little bit of a dam break in the sense of the Avs are in a place where they know they can beat goaltenders now?
Yes and no. I think this is a game that the Avalanche were due for. Like call their due the New Jersey game a couple games ago, whatever. This was a game where you see this team is struggling with finishing, but they're putting up some really high danger opportunities. And some of those, this just kind of feels like a really kind of, you're doing okay. You're doing really good kind of game. And the Avs kind of getting rewarded for that. At the same time, though, you're not going to run into very many goaltenders like a Stuart Skinner, Calvin Pickard combo. So there's also that to think about in saying, you're going to run into some good goaltenders. You may not run into a goaltending tandem as bad as this, but you're going to run into some bad ones as well. And the expectation is, regardless of which kind of goaltender you're facing, that you'll be able to break past them in any sort of way. It may not be a dam breaking, but at least a goal. Yeah, I mean, it's never going to be this easy. It was that easy tonight, I guess. But you don't ever expect it to go like that in your favor. What I will say is, this was a game where the Avs kept doing it. Edmonton, obviously 0 goals at 5-on-5. But even by the time Edmonton got on the scoreboard on their own power play, the game was over. The Avs gave this team so little at 5-on-5 when you're talking about the actual play on the ice. And I'm just not here for it, that it was like, well, it was just Edmonton being bad. No, the Avs did a lot of making Edmonton look bad in this game. So credit where credit's due to Colorado on that one. Absolutely. Obviously, you look up and down the forward core. I know there's a handful of guys that didn't end up with points tonight, but I don't care. It's a 9-1 game, and enough scoring was... You're never going to see that. Right. It's very rare, like a blue moon occurrence. Yeah. So anything on the specifics like that are just not things that I'm worried about. Ultimately, I really don't know how much better you play if you're the Colorado Avalanche. Yes, in a game where it's 3-1, maybe the possession numbers look a little bit different. But when the puck goes in for you, you get the luxury of you don't have to pile on shots. And I think they still ended up with 34 or something. It's not like it was a minimal amount. And the stat that really impresses me the most by a lot is the Avs had 10 high danger chances to Edmonton's 5 in this game at 5-on-5. And they're just better. I feel like I need to, I'm sure we'll talk about him much more later down the pod. Scott Wedgwood was not an easy night per se. It became easy in a way, but you had to get through a couple of early power plays. Right. And, No, 5 high danger shots is, what I would maybe consider, moderate night for some goaltenders. He made some incredible saves throughout this game that really made it easy for the team in front of him to put up the performance that they did. Yeah, that first period from him was huge. Yeah. Not that the workload wasn't that high, but when you have the talent that the Edmonton Oilers have, you're going to need some saves out of your goaltender. They got him by the end of the second period. The Avs maybe could have won this game with an empty net, but not that Wedgwood was bad. Wedgwood continued to be great. It couldn't get much worse for the Oilers at that point. But up and down the lineup, did anyone have a bad game tonight? I don't think you can say anyone on the Avalanche you felt like had a poor game, even if guys didn't necessarily get on the stat sheet, even if guys didn't play a ton. The only maybe complaint that you can make is of, everybody who did not score. You only got one, scoring situation out of your top line in Nathan MacKinnon. Sure. Martin Necas, not getting any points, but didn't necessarily play poorly. Yeah, he was fine. Yeah. It was same from Arturi Lehkonen. Arturi Lehkonen was very noticeable tonight, even if it wasn't on the score sheet. The one guy who couldn't finish tonight probably was lucky. But still, again, the fact that we're saying that about a guy, he was noticeable on the ice, especially through the neutral zone. I thought he played a really, really good game, just didn't show up on the score sheet. I thought Jack Ashawn had a really, really good game. And you look at the time on ice, and I do think this is an important note, especially because the Avs play tomorrow. There aren't too many guys that are really pushing heavy numbers on time on ice when it comes to the Avs. I know, you had a couple of forwards break 20 minutes, but 20 minutes is not a crazy amount.
It wasn't MacKinnon. And Nichushkin led all time on ice and forwards. Then you had Natchez. Then you had Olofsson. Then you had MacKinnon. That's what a 9-1 win will do for you. Your non-top guys, Olofsson and Nichushkin, get a ton of that time because of the third period where you could let off the gas with them. Your second line only played like 16, 17 minutes a pop. Even your defense, Makar played 23-30, which is a lot, but for Makar, that's not a lot.
I was going to say, this is a guy who's nearing close to 28 minutes on every single game tonight, and you don't see him get past 25. I call that a win.
Oh, for sure.
For Cale Makar.
Sure,
That's, oh my God.
You do so much good for yourself when you put yourself in these situations, and it's interesting because I think it shows a bit of a, I don't know if I would call it a learning curve or just the way this game went, but you look at that New Jersey game, which they have scored 8 in. They didn't have that down 4 minutes where the game got interesting for a little bit and the Avs ultimately closed it out, which gives them an opportunity to let off the gas a little bit more safely in this one.
No, that's exactly what I was going to bring up and saying this feels a lot like the New Jersey game and the dominant fashion that it was.
Yep.
Except you don't have that 4 minutes of lull hockey that, is kind of taking your momentum away a little bit.
Yeah.
And this is the kind of game that the Avalanche can show. Again, we've mentioned multiple times a full 60 performance. I feel like this is about as close to a full 60 as you're going to get.
And I think the big breaking point there, not that the Avs are probably going to win this game anyway, but McDavid scores that goal in the power play. It's 5-1. You take another penalty and you're like, all right, this isn't great hockey from the Avs. Parker Kelly shows up, scores a shorthanded goal for you.
Let's talk about that backhand.
I know AJ tweeted it out. Parker Kelly, number 1 shootout guy after he's done this multiple times now this season.
I feel like that's a no-brainer at this point. If you're getting to shootouts and that's what it comes down to, it feels a little hard to not make that argument.
It clearly works for him, at least in a game. So first shorty of the year for the Avs. And that's exactly what was missing in the New Jersey game. And I don't have as many qualms as some people do with that New Jersey game, but the Avs punched back immediately when it came to that lull of the game or whatever you want to call it. And then from there, the third period, Edmonton was just like, all right, let's go home. It hardly
at
mattered.
that point, it's keep away.
Yeah.
It's let's try not to get double digits put up on us by the end of the night. That's all it was.
Yeah. It just feels super good for the Avs to have games like this. Mm-hmm. And against an opponent like Edmonton, I do think it's interesting because Edmonton has not been great to start the year, but they are absolutely a team that everyone knows can pop off at any moment. Mm-hmm. And again, not just 9 goals. Edmonton did not score at 5-on-5 against the Colorado Avalanche in this game.
And we talk all the time, too, about the Avs being one of, if not the best team at 5-on-5 in the National Hockey League. This game
rubber stamp that.
This game feels like something you can, put on the marquee and be like, this team is dangerous. Don't mess with us at 5-on-5 or else this happens.
You're going to get cooked.
Yeah.
A team-wide effort, too. I know we'll get a little bit more into the forwards individually in a minute here, but when you look up and down the lineup, we already talked about the 3 goals from your fourth line guys. You also had play from your second line. Ross Colton ended up with a multi-point night, even if Landeskog and Nelson didn't get on the scoreboard. Your other lines were all great. Your third line has multiple goals. Your top line ultimately has multiple goals. Are some of those garbage time? Absolutely, but go get yours. Your defense, Taves, 3 points. Makar, 2 goals. Malinsky and Burns both had points. Burns played 20 minutes tonight. Makar played over 20. Taves played 17 minutes tonight. Mm-hmm. This is making your life easier.
Only thing I guess I will pose to you then, you get production from pretty much every single facet of this team or every single position of this team except the second line.
Yeah.
Is that something that rings any sort of alarms in your head?
I would say no. I mean, obviously you want your second line to score every night. You want everyone to score every night. But when you look at what the second line has been giving you, Nelson, it's now 3 points in his last 6 games, which is a little on the low side. You'd like a little bit more than that. But if your second line is going to go quiet on a night that you scored 9 goals, that's the right time to do it. When you're in a 2-2 game tomorrow night and you need something, that's when you need your second line to step up. I don't feel like it's worth nitpicking the lack of production on a night where you had production in spades, right? You don't have to overthink about the negatives, especially because the Avs got it from everywhere else. If the Avs' path to success is that your third line scores a bunch of goals and your second line doesn't, eventually your third line just becomes your second line. So,
I mean, that's certainly how they were deployed tonight.
Yeah.
So like that's a little hard to argue with.
It's
definitely.
You're just looking for reasons to be upset, I think, if you're worried about the second line production.
Yeah.
We
Valid.
do need to take our first break of the show, so let's make sure we're shouting out our sponsors with the Chicken and Pickle. It's up in Thornton, your spot for good food, good friends, and great fun. Honestly, third period, I think the Oilers were thinking about the Chicken and Pickle more than this hockey game. They were trying to get out there and play some pickleball. They have indoor and outdoor pickleball courts, delicious food. They even have a Sunday brunch buffet if you're getting up tomorrow before the game. Great place to go check out. They've got yard games like cornhole, a full bar with seasonal cocktails and local favorites, plus so much more. They're known for their wood-fired rotisserie chicken, burgers, and wings, happy hour, and live music. It's all there when it comes to the Chicken and Pickle. More than 50 TVs indoors and outdoor to cheer for your favorite sports team too. So football Sunday in the morning, and then come to DNVR for the Avs game. It's just that easy. Jump on it that way. Even if your pickleball skills are questionable, but your ability to eat is undefeated, Chicken and Pickle has you covered. Family-friendly fun awaits. Visit chickenandpickle.com to plan your visit today. And once you got some delicious food at the Chicken and Pickle, you're also going to want to get with Ent Credit Union. They're an awesome product that our friends over at Ent Credit Union have, which the Broncos are actually good this year. So go get yourself a Broncos fan checking account. You can jump in with them on that. They're the official banking partner of the Denver Broncos, and their Broncos checking account is loaded with all kinds of perks. You can get the Bo Nix card if you want that to show off your Bo Leaf on your credit card. Every 15 swipes with that card gets you a chance to win Broncos home game tickets. It's super cool. You get 10% off food and gear at games at Empower Field. And of course, there's no surprise fees and more. So if you're ready to bank like a Bronco, head over to ent.com/DNVR. That's ent.com/DNVR to learn more. Insured by NCUA, membership required. Account requires associated Ent Broncos debit card. Second period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast.
I want to pose a question to you.
Go off.
Of the four Hattie watchers we had tonight. In Nathan MacKinnon, Cale Makar, Parker Kelly, and Jack Drury, which one to you would have been like if this happened, like this is the best thing, like we needed this?
Oh,
like
Parker Kelly. For sure, Parker Kelly. That one would have been. It's not very often that you're watching a guy where if he had gotten a hat trick, I would have been confident that will be the only hat trick of Parker Kelly's career. But I would have been pretty confident had he gotten it. MacKinnon has a bunch. I don't care about MacKinnon hat tricks. I mean, obviously, I'd like to watch them because it's good when the Avs are getting goals. But seeing that, Makar even has a hat trick in his career. If he hadn't had one already, I would have been rooting for that a little bit more.
Yeah.
The Drury one would have been super cool too. But it very funny that the Avs found a way to not get a hat trick in this game.
That's I think the quirkiest part about this game for me is like you have that many opportunities, and I mean we were all joking during the watch along, like if that's the line that you run, like you run, get a Taves out there, maybe get him something, but run it like a power play, get something. Well,
I guess Makar's a D,
there.
but yeah, would have been nice. Kelly had a couple of chances that wouldn't go. MacKinnon probably should have had a hat trick. I think Nate just blocked a puck from going in for Mac's hat trick. But yeah, it's a lot more fun when you're talking about who's going to get the hat trick and maybe you come up a little bit short as opposed to who's going to score the big goal for the Avs that they need to win this game.
As opposed to being like super nitpicky about this team. That is a fun conversation to have.
And the Avs have been a highly entertaining team all year, but it does feel like with the New Jersey game and with this game, the Avs haven't had a ton of this over the last couple of years where they really just go in and are work teams over. Whether that's the other teams being poor, the Avs being good, I don't really care. it does feel like another trick in the bag for the Avs that on any given night, they can just blow a team out.
No, and I think this just speaks volumes about the kind of team that the Avs are this season, I think, as well. We're seeing a team with a bit of a different identity than the team had last season.
Yeah.
You're seeing a similar identity to maybe what they were trying to achieve at the trade deadline with the super deep team. This is a team that they think can do it all. And you're seeing a lot of different shades of that early on through this season. Teams that, again, that full 60 effort, I want to bring that up. The contributions from the blue line, the depth that they can deploy in any given situation at any given time. I was afraid that this game was going to turn into a game where they start shortening the bench, and you see a lot of that leeway given where Bednar's just kind of like, go ham, do your thing, and they deserved it.
Totally.
Tonight as well.
Every stretch of the imagination, the Avs deserved it. Do we have our 3 stars? Do we want to jump into our 3-star conversation tonight? Star number 3, the goaltending. Honestly, from both sides. Not to take away from Wedgie. He was great. Bailey, you mentioned it. If you don't get a couple of good saves out of Wedgwood in the first period, this game looks a lot different.
Oh, yeah.
Through that second period, the first half of it, Wedgwood did not have a lot of work to do, but you hold Edmonton to what? Was it 1 for 6 on their power play?
I don't have that number off the top of my head.
Not all that important exactly what the number was, but either way, Wedgwood made sure a game that should not have been close was not close at the end of the day.
Well, and let's talk about these shot totals through, all 3 periods too. Your team holds Edmonton to 6.
Pretty good.
In the first period. You get into double digits in the second period with 10.
And how many of those were power play only too,
oh my
right?
God. And then you get back to single digits in the third. Like, that's testament, to your defense for maybe not letting much through. But you got to give your credit to Scott Wedgwood because some of those shots that they created were
genuinely good. Yeah,
genuinely scary shots. And oh God, there was one stretch save that he had. I think it was towards the end of the game too. Yeah, which it blew my mind.
And I do think it's worth noting that, and you saw this in the third period. Yeah, the Avs stars kicked it into cruise control a little bit in the third period. But those guys at the bottom of the lineup, to the final buzzer, Bardakov was working hard. Gavin Brindley was working hard. In goal, Scott Wedgwood was working hard. Everyone knows their role on the Colorado Avalanche right now. They're all doing what they need to be doing. No one's trying to go beyond what they need to do. No one's underperforming in that regard.
No.
It's super fun to watch. Wedgie deserves a ton of credit. Both Edmonton Oilers also get a little bit of credit for this Avalanche.
No, I think I would absolutely group them into the 3rd star. Yeah. Thank you so much for allowing the Colorado Avalanche to put up 9, almost 10, but we'll I guess stay with 9.
2nd star of the game is the Avalanche defense as a whole. They have 7 points, 2 goals from Cale Makar, 3 points for Devon Toews. This is the game you needed out of your top pairing, especially after maybe a couple of games that you wanted a little bit more out of them. Are Makar's goals a little bit cheap? Absolutely. But guess what? A worse shot doesn't go in on those Makar goals. Toews doesn't get 3 points if they aren't playing to their ability.
No, and the only thing that would have made this better for the Avs defense would be Toews getting on the board. That is literally the only I wouldn't even call it a gripe. Yeah. At that point too, Devon Toews played an incredible game, especially in the defensive zone.
Multiple shifts where he owned McDavid.
That's hard to do.
Yes.
That is incredibly difficult to do. And Devon Toews, I mean, you hear about a guy, even without being on the score sheet the way that he is, or at least when it comes to goals, is still a guy who's in contest for being one of the best defensemen in the league.
Yep. Pretty good.
Yeah. If that's the gripe that I have with Devon Toews, that's an incredible performance from him tonight.
Outrageously good top to bottom to the defense. Kyle, thank you for upgrading your membership. Can we get some Dr. Dubs in chat? Because we also have hit over 100 likes. We appreciate y'all. Some winner shots here. Let's go. Cheers to you.
Cheers.
9-1. Let's do this again sometime. The rest of the defense too, though. Britt Burns, awesome tonight. Had one play where he almost got cooked. And guess what? He makes a great play to save up for it. Yep. That's the commitment. That's the play you need out of your defense, even if it's a guy that isn't necessarily doing a ton offensively, although I thought Brent Burns was actually really good and had an unbelievable assist on Jack Drury's first goal. Every step of the way in the Avs lineup, you feel confident in. And I think that's an important part of the conversation we were getting into earlier. When your depth is not just, hey, we're trying to survive with you guys. When your depth is, okay, Jack Drury, go kill.
Yeah.
It feels really good.
I do want to point out and saying this is probably my favorite game from Brent Burns.
I think that's
so
fair.
far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The finish in Vegas was super nice on that game-winning goal, but as a whole of a game, yeah.
Yeah. No, I really love this game, and it makes you excited for what his capabilities are down the road too, because we've had some not so fun games from Brent Burns so far through the
there
season.
have been some struggle ones, but it does feel like he's settled in very much, especially over these last 5 games.
Again, you talk about finding roles.
Yep.
And that's been one of the ones that I've been kind of waiting to settle in a little bit. And it finally feels like he's starting to get into that. He's leaning into a lot of the strengths that he still has this late in his career.
Yep.
It's fun to watch. It really is.
It is. I mean, everything about this game was fun to watch. Don't shoot. Thank you for becoming a member as well. We appreciate y'all. It's a good way to support us. We have a ton more emojis than we used to. We have even more coming on the next, for tomorrow when the Nuggets don't play. We'll have even more emojis for the watch along. So y'all wanna get in on that. Our number 1 star is the Avs forward core. 17 points they combined for in this game. That's a lot of points.
That's a lot of goals, man. I don't know how much more I can really say about this. Just it's a top to bottom contribution from this team.
Yep.
The fact that the offense, I mean, you know, obviously there's a lot more forwards than there are D-men, but the way that everybody was able to contribute, 17's a big number. That's a abnormally large number.
Nathan MacKinnon had a 4-point night. And he might have been like your 4th best forward in this game, like genuinely.
That's an insane thing to say.
Yeah.
But like that's genuinely what this game was, is a top to bottom effort. You're getting contributions from everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
If I were going to hone in on something specifically, I mean, we talked about the 4th line at the beginning. Like that is easily my favorite line of the night. You get contributions from Parker Kelly. Gavin Brindley in his first game back since his concussion shows off.
Has a multi-point night, by the way.
You give up Charlie Coyle and Miles Wood, and you get Gavin Brindley, who and I feel weird for like highlighting him as much as I'm going to here. Yeah. But like this is a guy, again, you expect to start his season in the AHL, started his season with the Colorado Eagles and pop off. Like you expect him to be one of the best players up there.
You expect him to be what Gushchin is doing right now,
exactly.
honestly.
But he's fought himself.
He's just been too good.
Yeah,
he's just been too good.
He's made a conversation for Jared Bednar and company as to why you cannot send him down. This game is exactly what he was working for. Yep. And I mean, he gets rewarded for it. You get a goal, you get a couple points. I mean, it's an incredible night for Gavin Brindley, something he absolutely deserves through the many games that he's played so far with this team. And to do it on the night that he returned from injury, like that's
no slow pick it back up,
him.
Jump right back in and do the job. 4 points in 13 games for Brindley, including tonight. By the way, Miles Wood has 4 points for Columbus. And I know the trade is a little more complicated than that 1-to-1.
It's a cap dump, but like still to get what the Avalanche did.
Yeah.
Out of that.
By the way, Zakar Bardakov had 2 assists tonight also, on top of Parker Kelly's 3-point night.
And I'll mention too, this was not, like, Bardakov was good. Don't get me wrong. He was okay. Not my favorite game from him, but still, like, he showed up.
Yeah. And that's exactly what you want, especially from your depth players. Your depth players aren't going to be awesome every single night. 2 of your 3 fourth liners, I would argue, were awesome tonight.
Yeah.
And Bardakov found a way to be effective, even if there is a little bit of chaoticness from Bardakov's game that I think you're just going to have to live with. But
yeah,
I mean, let's be honest. And this is not a knock against Bardakov, but you're not taking Gavin Brindley out of the lineup when LOC gets back.
No.
You're just not.
It comes down to who's a more effective player. And while Bardakov proved himself to be somewhat effective tonight. Like
Gavin Brindley was better.
The conversation becomes, how do you send Gavin Brindley back down when he's playing the way that he is?
You can't. You cannot take that guy out of the lineup.
No.
You just can't. And if nothing else, it shows through with the time on ice that Bednar is willing to give Gavin Brindley just how much he's earned with Colorado this year.
And that's the conversation I was going to bring up here next too. I know this game is kind of an anomaly.
For sure.
Where you're not going to put up a niner on teams every single night.
If you did, you are the best team ever. Yeah.
Right. But we've seen some situations here in the last couple of games where Bednar has significantly shortened the bench. You're seeing these guys maybe get 5-6 minutes a night, if that.
Yeah.
How in this situation, like say against a Vancouver tomorrow, how do you see this team or this line being deployed?
I think it'll be interesting. There is a lot of that with Bednar where it's situational. If the Avs are down a goal, you're not going to see the fourth line. No. Bednar will literally play Nathan MacKinnon 40 minutes if the Avs are in that situation. He does not care. But Parker Kelly, 10:32 tonight. Gavin Brindley, 10:15 tonight. Bardakov only played 6:36. So I still think there is a lack of trust in Bardakov there. But certainly, Bednar trusts obviously Parker Kelly, but he also trusts Gavin Brindley to a point now where he is at least willing to put them on the ice. We're not going to see, assuming they can continue to roll that line as is until LOC gets back. We're beyond the 4-minute a night thing. Yeah. We're not going to see a whole lot of that anymore. We're at least going to see them be a real fourth line, get to 7-8 minutes type of thing with Kelly and Brindley.
I am very excited once LOC's return gets a little bit closer, which to mention, he was potentially projected to be this weekend, if not next weekend.
It sounds like it probably
He's
next.
Very, very close.
Yes.
This conversation's going, to happen sooner rather than later. It is that conversation between Brindley and Bardakov, which again, showing how Bednar places his trust. You see a lot more of that in a Brindley than you do in a Bardakov. And it's unfortunate because you go into this season with the expectation that Zakhar Bardakov is going to fill that 4C role, and he's going to fill it well. Yep. And
it's been okay.
It's been okay. But that proof that trust is there for Parker Kelly to play that position better than Bardakov does makes it that much easier to pull Bardakov from the lineup, put LOC in, and you've got a very dangerous fourth line.
By the way, after tonight, Parker Kelly on a 35-point pace. He's never broken 20 in his career. Pretty good.
Yeah. This is, I'm excited to see if this is the way Parker Kelly's performing through 15 games?
Yeah.
Now, I am super excited to see what he does through 82.
A surprising level of consistency from him on the offensive side. The defense we know is great. That's been a staple of Parker Kelly's game, but there has been an offensive punch from him that, not to be rude, but I wasn't sure he had it in the bag.
And it's the word leadership kind of shows up when you talk about a Parker Kelly, because this is a guy who's really had to take a head role on this fourth line.
Yeah, and he's the leader of that line now, just as the veteran presence. And awesome guy. I said it on the watch along. We interviewed him in preseason. Probably one of the best interviews I've ever been a part of.
I love talking to Parker Kelly.
Absolutely awesome guy. Go check that out if you haven't. It's on our YouTube channel. Nothing but positives for me. We're going to talk about a few brief negatives in the third period here, but those are just to balance the scales on a night that should be all positive for the Avalanche. We do need to take our second break of the show before we jump into that side of things, as our beautiful sponsors include our presenting sponsor in Bet365. 3 for 3 again tonight on my pregame picks. I'm just saying. We got the Jack Drury goal. We got the multi-point night from Makar, and we got the Avs to cover and then some on this one. By the way, if you ever pick a team to win with Bet365 and they get up by 3, you automatically get paid out. So your bet isn't even worrying about the Avs blowing a lead in this game. You would have gotten
bet
paid.
with you next time I bet.
I surprised myself. I'm not going to lie. I've done pretty well on the bets this year. Usually I'm like, I hit 1 tonight. I did okay. There's been a lot of nights I've hit 2 or 3. So it's working right now. You can do it with Bet365. And the coolest part is when you sign up with the code DNVR365, put $10 in your account, bet $5 on anything, win or lose, you get $200 in bonus bets. And you can have fun with those bets. That's free money. You can bet on whatever you want. Go crazy. If you hit, that's free money. That's now real money. If you miss, well, it wasn't real money anyway. So you're good to go with Bet365. When you do gamble with them, of course, you must be 21 or older, physically located in Colorado. And if you or somebody you know has a gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER today. And once you've got your gambling in with Bet365, maybe you won a little bit, time to go buy a new pair of sunglasses. I'm sure you all remember that moment where you realize you left your favorite pair of sunglasses at the beach, or maybe it's 3 states away at a gas station when you were on a road trip. We've all been there. But you got yourself covered if you go get yourself a pair of Shady Rays. They changed the game on this. First of all, use code DNVR at ShadyRays.com and get 35% off any pair of polarized sunglasses. But the cool part is you don't have to sweat wearing them, because for the first 30 days, you break them, you lose them, or you just don't like them. Shady Rays will replace them for you entirely for free. It's just that easy. Shady Rays is eyewear that has your back. So go get this exclusive offer at ShadyRays.com and get that 35% off of any pair of polarized sunglasses with code DNVR. Try for yourself the shades that were rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people at ShadyRays.com. Third period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast. Before we get to the negatives, we do have our filling the stat sheet, checking even the stat sheet. The Avs filled it tonight, let's be honest, with Dick's Sporting Goods. Unbelievable stuff from the Avs tonight. Whichever stat you want to pull. It does 17 points from your forwards, 4 players with 2 goals, defense with 7 points. Goaltender who gives up 0 goals at 5 on. Which stat do you want? It does not matter. They're all good for the Avs.
Yeah. It's hard to pull any sort of, bad situation from this game. I'm sure we'll get into some of the negatives. But
it won't be a long segment. But.
No, but I don't know. It's hard to fathom just how many points were on the score sheet. And I want to mention that because it could have been more. Parker Kelly does not have any assists associated to his goal.
Yep.
Nathan MacKinnon only had 1 assist on his secondary. This could have, we could be talking about a 19,
there
20
should have been a Gabe Landeskog goal in this game.
Yeah, but that point total is, I think, what stands out to me the most. Yep. It's a hard number for me to fathom.
It's ridiculous. This type of production is obviously not sustainable.
No.
But also, there are, I would dare to say, the majority of teams in the league will not have a night with this much production.
No.
This entire season.
No.
The Avs have that firepower that they're able to do something like this at all, even if it does take a poor performance against them to get there.
You can be the best team in the league consistently through 82 games, and you're maybe only getting 1 or 2 of these a season.
And the Avs have 2 in the past 2 weeks.
Yeah. And I think that just goes to show how special of a group this is. They've got their flaws.
Yep.
Don't get me wrong. Like, there are still things that we could absolutely, hit the hammer on and beat until, it's black and blue. But this is a dominant team. This is a team that I don't know what other word to use other than special. Like, they've got the depth. They've got the star power. They've got the goaltending, which, again, from your backup goaltender.
Your starter has played 1 game this year.
Yeah. He's going to play his second, ideally tomorrow.
Yep.
But your starter is not back. You're getting this from your backup goaltender. This team, it's hard.
It's got the juice.
Yeah. It's really hard for me to be disappointed in what we've seen from them so far. There's things that are, again, little stubborn pieces that I'd love to harp on, down the road, and I'm sure I will. But that aside, like, it is really, really difficult with the performance that this team has put up so far for me to sit there and say, I don't like this team's chances come game 82 when they head into the playoffs.
If you're watching this team and you're not saying they're the best team in the league right now, I guess we just see hockey differently.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at with it. Yeah, we can move on here. And I do want to mention the negatives just to try and be somewhat balanced in this game.
Short segment.
One of them somewhat real, one of them more of a meme. The real one, The Avs scored 9 goals tonight, and none of them came on the power play.
Yeah, you get, oh God, what was it? 7 power play opportunities.
And one of those is fake, to be fair. It was like a 20-second one, but
still 7 opportunities.
Yeah, including a 5-on-3.
Yeah. Also including, what was it, a double minor?
Yeah,
situation?
4 straight minutes.
Yeah,
I will say the double minors in garbage time, like the Avs aren't too particularly worried about needing a goal at that point, but you still went 0 for 7.
This is a game where you're dominating that much. Getting cute is, acceptable to a point.
Yeah.
But the idea should be that I don't know. I go about this 2 different ways. One, you don't want to let off the gas because this is an insanely dominant game. But again, it's the first game of a back-to-back. And so how much are they
You're conserving some legs for sure.
conserving
Yeah.
in situations like that? At the same time, yes, that double minor, maybe you don't need a goal there, but it's something to show for out of an otherwise very dominant game from this team.
Yeah, and you can absolutely flip that into a positive and be like, oh, the power play sucked and the Avs still scored 9 goals. That's really, really good. You also want your power play to score. And some of that conversation is, well, they had some good power plays. They had some bad ones tonight. Some of that conversation is, if you're going to pick a night to not score on a power play, one like this is good. But for the negatives you can nitpick out of this game, the power play continues to be one that keeps coming up every night.
And this is one you brought up too, of the few, shots that they put up a ton of shots.
Yep.
In each period.
Yep.
A lot of which, many of which came from the power play, I would say. So it's not for lack of shooting. In some areas, you're maybe looking at some areas and saying they are making the extra pass. Martin just comes to mind. In some of those.
Yeah, a lot of overpassing from Marty tonight.
But for the most part, the movement looks great.
It does.
In a lot of these power plays, you're not seeing the stagnant nature of this Avs team that you've been seeing in games past, especially before that New Jersey game. More
issues tonight with the entry, which is weird. And to be honest, that's something that I'm willing to not worry about. Mm-hmm. The Avs are too good of an entry team for that to be a long-term problem. And I don't even think we need to talk about the power play anymore. Yes, it was bad. Yeah. You still dominated the game. Move on. The other negative, and if you're new to the show, I'm not a superstitious guy. I don't believe in any of that stuff. And yet, I'm only half joking when I say, is Gabe Landeskog actually cursed?
I'm halfway tempted to draft an email to the league, be like, what do we need to do to get this man a goal? A deserved goal, right? By the way,
I don't know that. I think he probably deserved this one, and it certainly deserved the other one that's been taken off the board for him. And yes, the Avs were offside. It's the correct call. I'm not trying to get into that, but how does this keep happening to Gabe specifically?
I don't know what hockey gods he pissed off.
Somebody,
something. But with the way that he's played, it's something I was talking to somebody about before the game and saying, aside from being the only forward on this team without a goal to his name, in a situation where maybe it yes, this one you can say it's most definitely offsides. It's a pretty goal, but it is offsides.
Yeah.
He deserves to at least have one to his name, but he's playing the role that he needs to. He would even say in situations maybe his game's not where he wants it to be. It's to be expected. I don't know how many times I can say that. And saying it's hard to come back after 3 seasons spent rehabbing the same injury to the same knee.
Crazy that he's playing at all. Yeah.
Right. No, this is not a comeback that I expected at all. So to say that he's playing his role well, I think is a positive to put in the Gabe Landeskog column.
I think that's the key that I take away. This is a guy who's had multiple goals taken away from him, and certainly over the past 8 to 10 games you're seeing it come back. He's been a quality NHL player for the Avs pretty much since they dropped him down to that third line.
Yeah.
A lot of good stuff from Gabe. So
yeah, it's hard to be mad at anything that he did tonight.
Agreed.
But again, you could say that for anybody on this team. Gabe Landeskog, I don't know. You see him flourish.
You do.
When you get down to that third line. And that's I think, a testament to the culture around this team too, is yes, you want to strive to be a top line guy every single night.
Mm-hmm.
That's a role he once held, but at the same time, like, you're doing your job.
Yep.
And that's, I think, all you can ask from a guy like Gabe Landeskog.
A lot more to hockey than just scoring, it turns out. Although it didn't feel like it in this game.
This is not the game to prove that point, Rudo.
You're not wrong. In this one, it might only be about the scoring. Which, to get back to positives, we're almost 50 minutes into this show. Jack Drury had multiple goals tonight, and we've barely mentioned him.
Yeah.
That's how good of a night it was. And Jack Drury, by the way, continues to be awesome. I think there's a world where at this point in the season, the Avs are sitting there going, hey, we probably need a 3C at the deadline.
Yeah.
Nope.
No, not at all. Again, this is a guy that before the season started, that was one of the main holes, if not the main hole, that Jared Bednar talked about this team having.
Yep.
And later mentions that Jack Drury was ideally the first guy in line for this job. I was asked before the season if there was any doubt in my mind that Jack Drury could be a 3C, and I said no.
Correct.
Not in my mind at all. This is a guy who is a proven elite fourth line center who is proving to be an elite third line center.
Yeah, Jack Drury was first in line, and they closed the line behind him.
Yeah, it proves a lot to this team's depth to sit there and say you have a guy who is as smart as Jack Drury is. Not just a smart hockey player in like off the score sheet. Like, this is a guy who knows how to get into correct positioning. He knows how to play the puck well. He's got great touches. He's great at building chemistry with his teammates.
He plays such a smart and simple game at times too. I think that first goal is a perfect example of what Jack Drury does. The Avs are changing. They sent two guys to the bench. Brent Burns has the puck, and Drury just beelines it to the middle of the ice and charges the goal. Brent Burns puts an unbelievable pass on that. Don't get me wrong. That goal is more Burns's than it is Drury's. But Drury puts himself in a position where he just has to get his stick on a puck, and it goes in the back of the net. And for all of the weak goaltending that Edmonton got in this game, a goal like that is not weak. That'll play against anybody in the league.
That's a beautiful goal.
Yep.
No, the touches, the way that this man sees the ice. And before he got to Colorado, I loved the shot that he had. He's got such a sharp shot. He can shoot from anywhere on the ice and make it look like a dangerous shot. And he's proving to be that all-around kind of player that I knew he could be, but he had yet to get to that level with the Colorado Avalanche.
Yep.
And this kind of game just seemed like an awakening for him.
It was another fun thing to watch. I mean, it was all fun. I keep picking out like, oh, that was fun. Oh, that was fun.
Point something
it was
out.
All fun.
It's hard to point something out in this game where I was like, I didn't like that.
True. I do think even in the parts of the game where you felt like, oh, that wasn't a great defensive play, or, oh, the Avs made a mistake here. Oh, maybe the Avs overpassed. It didn't matter because the next play was better. The next play was a quality one. The Avs did not string mistakes together pretty much at all across the course of this game. And that's it. That's as close to perfect hockey as you can play. You're never going to play a game with no mistakes, but if you're not making multiple mistakes in a row, it's really hard to beat you.
Yeah. No, again, I'll mention the full 60 effort that Jared Bednar and company has preached through the start of this season. This is about as close as it gets.
Yeah, I would agree. They're not all going to be that easy, but
to get this one.
Yeah. Come on. What's not the love?
Right.
Top to bottom in the lineup too. Super duper impressive for me that the Avs can get it from anywhere. And I'm starting to believe, look, do you want more production out of Brock Nelson? Sure. Do you really know what you're doing with your 4C position? No. If you want to tell me the Avs aren't the deepest in the world at center, I'll buy that. I think they're probably the deepest team in the league at wing.
No,
their wings are so good.
It's hard to complain when your fourth line wings are Parker Kelly and Gavin Brindley.
Yeah.
It's really hard to complain about that and say that that's not deep.
It's more than deep at this point.
You're talking about a Parker Kelly that's producing in a way that some third line wingers on other teams are.
Yeah.
Some second line wingers on certain teams are. Like, it's insane production. I don't know how you're not. Again, say what you'll say about center position. I'll I'll give you that one. But it's hard to complain about the depth at wing.
And
really hard.
I don't take a ton of the possession stats in this game because of the score differential was as big as it was, but your fourth line was your best possession line tonight, around 75% Corsi 4. Your third line, the one where Landeskog didn't score, you're trying to get a little bit more there. Your second best possession line, 65 to 70% Corsi 4. So your depth lines are dominating the puck against teams like this. It's exactly what we talked about in the pregame, where it's like, hey, you want the Avs stars to go out duel their stars, but where the Avs should have a clear advantage is the depth, and they absolutely had one in this game. No game ever survives the script writing. Obviously, you have to play the game you're in and adapt, but if you were writing a script, this is the one you were writing.
Yeah, absolutely. No, again, too, special teams weren't perfect.
No.
All around the board tonight. But that comes to show for itself. Parker Kelly kind of earns that one back.
Yep. Gets you even.
And that just seems like a beautiful part of the script too.
Honestly,
if we're going to talk about that, like every script to a great story has conflict. Every single script to a great story has a climax and a low spot. And that's maybe the one low spot I give is, your power play or your penalty kill, which is second in the league before this game at this point.
Yeah.
Not to brag, but this is a great penalty kill.
It is.
Lets up on a goal from none other than Connor McDavid, but you get it back on the shorty. Like that if that's not, romantic and poetic,
yeah,
I don't know what is.
And I know it doesn't necessarily help the Avs PK numbers, but against the second best power play in the league, you gave up 1 on 6. Your penalty kill was actually quite good tonight.
Yeah.
Considering what you were up against on the power play, not to mention going net even with the shorthanded goal. So really, really good stuff from that point. I do think we have a couple of super chats to get to, and then we'll get into our wrap up of the show. $5 from Ryan, who says, new rule, next coach who wants to challenge Landy's first goal has to get on the ice and beat him in a fist fight first. Also, best at 5v5, greater than everything. Yeah. If you had to pick one part of the game to be the best at, 5v5 would be the one. Absolutely.
The Avs are creating a very fun conversation in the league about their 5-on-5 play. It's becoming a team that is really, really hard to dominate at full strength.
Yeah. Crazy good. And not just that, hey, they're scoring a ton and maybe there's some unsustainable factors to it, but there are a lot of underlying stuff that their possession and quality play is sustainable at 5-on-5, and they're going to be a really good team. I mean, they already are a really good team.
Oh, yeah.
14 from Drew, who says, due to the Edmonton players' actions at the blue line, the play is onside. Landy's goal counts. Avs get 10 and just say they don't need the power play to dominate.
The actions forced onto Jack Drury forced him to be offside. Therefore, we have a good goal.
Look, this is all just karmic buildup, all right?
The next Landy goal is going to be insane.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm at the point, I don't really cheer anyway, but I will cheer for that. As soon as that puck is dropped for the middle of the ice
actually
face-off,
counts.
You know that it actually counts. I'm sitting there thank God.
We're getting to that point where Landy's going to score and the crowd is going to be silent until the puck actually drops because they're all like, I know better. No, this is karma. There's going to be a goal in the playoffs this year that Landy scores where there's going to be a questionable offside situation and it's going to go the Avs' way. He's just building up the karma.
I don't know what to say at this point for Landy. All I know is if anybody's due for anything,
it's Gabe Landeskog for a goal.
Freaking Landeskog.
No kidding. And I mean, the Avs dominated with 9 goals at 5-on-5. So that statement's just correct.
Yeah.
$5 from Trevor, who says, your reminder for dumping Coyle and Wood's contract to Columbus, they gave us Brindley a 2nd and a 3rd round pick. Pretty good piece of business. And I know Charlie Coyle's been producing pretty decently in Columbus, but you have to remember that Charlie Coyle is playing a lot in Columbus and would have been a 3C here. So the conversation of what Coyle's role would have been a little bit different.
Yeah.
And, I'm sure Coyle on the team would have been a great feeling.
You're talking about a situation that would have made the Avalanche, okay.
Yeah.
Versus a situation that allowed the Avalanche to be great.
Yep. And they are. It's not. I know the conversation is like, well, Brock Nelson 2C hasn't produced enough. Yeah, you're not wrong. But he also has 3 points in his last 6 games. Again, the Avs second line continues to do a lot of really good things, even when they aren't necessarily producing at the level that you want. And I'm sitting in a place with that line where it feels more like it's fine. The production is okay. It's not as bad as it was, and I think more is coming. And even then, Ross Colton had a 2-point night tonight. It's not like you got nothing out of your second line guys. And I know you'd rather have it from Nelson or whatever. You've also been on a little bit of a dry spell for Nichushkin that I think is inevitable that it won't last. He's playing way too well.
Mm-hmm.
This is how good the Avs are, that we're like nitpicking the second line for. They're playing really well. They're just not scoring enough.
Yeah.
On a night where the Avs scored 9 goals.
There are worse problems to have.
Yes.
I will say, but it's really hard to complain. I believe this game put the Avalanche back in first in the league. So it's really hard to complain when, that's the standard that this Avs team is setting.
First in the league or bust, I suppose. Yeah, Montreal.
Does the President's Trophy curse exist at that point?
The Avs have won a Stanley Cup in a year they won the President's Trophy, so I ain't sweating that. The Avs do jump 1 point ahead of Montreal as it stands currently. Montreal won earlier today, so good stuff there. On the stats, after the blow up of points from the Avs, MacKinnon now tied for the lead in the league because Celebrini scored today too at 24 points. Cale Makar is cooking all defensemen in every category you can possibly imagine. The Avs are really good at everything. I don't know what you want me to say beyond that. That's just how good Colorado has been this year. Bailey, I asked you this in the pregame as a comparison to McDavid, but who's been better this year? Nathan MacKinnon or Cale Makar?
Nathan MacKinnon.
Okay. I buy that.
Nathan MacKinnon, absolutely. It's hard to, yes, the assists alone with the points that Cale Makar is putting up is incredible. Two goal game is no slouch.
Yep.
From a guy who's, won the Norris multiple times.
Yep. But
the way that the cylinder at which Nathan MacKinnon is firing off of right now it's very hard. Good. It's hard to not give it to him.
On a 65 goal pace is Nathan MacKinnon right now, by the way. Not that he's going to keep that up, but for a guy in McKinnon's entire career has always been a volume shooter to an absurd degree, and that's still true. He's still shooting the puck a ton, and that's good. That's who Nathan MacKinnon is. That's what he needs to be. He is also shooting 18% right now, and your logical brain says that's not sustainable. It's going to come down a little bit, but with players that good, there's a non-zero chance that he just shoots 17% randomly this year and just has one of those years.
Yeah. I had a weird conversation at the end of last year where with the scoring totals from last year, Nathan MacKinnon, popped off. It was an incredible season, but that's low for something that Nathan's put up in the past. As
for his goal scoring ability.
This seems like an upward trend from last year, which again is a crazy sentence to say. Insane to say that Nathan MacKinnon had a down year last year, which is again not true, but also considering what he's put up in the past, technically is. So, but he seems to be on a really, really dangerous pace at the current moment.
It's really, really good from everybody involved. With the 2 goals tonight, Makar's back up to 6 goals. Maybe he flirts with that 30 number again.
That's to do that 2 seasons in a row.
Yes,
would be
unbelievable. Yeah, almost impossible. You might even say, but he's Cale Makar, so nothing is impossible. I guess.
Right, Superman.
Just to run through a little bit of the Avs statistically after tonight, MacKinnon, 24 points. Makar, 20 points. Nate, just even with no points tonight, is still at 18.
Mm-hmm.
Not a guy you're worrying about the production. Olofsson picked up a point tonight. He's got 13 points. MacKinnon on 13 points. Nichushkin's still sitting on 9, even with his little dry spell with tonight. Colton's up to 8 points, over half a point per game on a solid 40-goal pace. Parker Kelly, Jack Drury, Brent Burns, Sam Malinsky, all at 7 points on the season. The Avs are not lacking in production, even if there are some guys that you want to pick it up. Other people are filling that gap, and the Avs can get away with it. It's honestly, I don't know that the Avs have ever been a scoring by committee team ever in their history, and I don't even think they are this year, obviously, with MacKinnon and Makar and H at the top of that list. But they're getting a little bit more of that scoring from everywhere this year that it feels like they've maybe been missing for a couple seasons.
Oh, absolutely. And again, I even after a game like this, I wouldn't go as far as to say that the Avalanche are not a top-heavy scoring team. Like, this is... the way that MacKinnon, the way that Netchus has shown that he can produce through the games that he's played so far, I would still say that the top line is, contributing a lot of that. But to see this capability, is really that's the point I guess I'm trying to get at. Is yes, they are still a top heavy scoring team, but depth.
Yes.
Again.
The way I put it is, if you're not top heavy, your top line's bad.
Yeah.
So to some extent, every good team is top heavy, but I agree with you that the Avs are less top heavy in the sense of, especially last year, there were a lot of times where it was like, all right, it's got to be the top line or nobody.
Yeah.
And now it's like, yeah, your top line's going to do some heavy lifting, but you can get it from anywhere.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So good stuff there. I think we're already in overtime. Conversation continues online at DNVR.com. Bailey, any final thoughts before we get out of here, since it is tomorrow?
Last point I want to bring up. If you had to pick one favorite player from tonight.
Ooh, that's tough. That's a tough answer. I think it's probably Jack Drury.
Okay.
I think exemplary play from a depth guy. All of his goals are hard-earned and well played, even if, there were other good goals too. You get it all from that Avs depth tonight as a whole, and Jack Drury is, I don't know that he's necessarily the linchpin. Obviously, Victor Olofsson's been great as part of that line, and you've seen some other guys move up and be really good throughout the Avs lineup. But Jack Drury is starting to become kind of the guy you look to in that bottom six, I think, to lead the way.
Yep.
You?
No, Jack Drury was going to be my answer here tonight as well.
Good stuff. Multiple answers fair from the chat. You could give it to Brindley. You could give it to Kelly. The Avs had it all from their depth tonight.
Yeah.
We are going to wrap up the show today, though, because we have to do another show. Well, it'll probably be tomorrow again because it's another late start.
Yeah.
But more stuff to come on the back-to-back. At least the Avs are going to be playing a tired team in Vancouver who also played today. Should be fun. I don't know that it'll be this fun in the next one.
It's hard to beat tonight.
We appreciate y'all hanging out. We hope you enjoyed. We'll be back for tomorrow's game. This has been the DNVR Avalanche podcast presented by Bet365.
We all silly like the mayor.